Alrighty folks, this is a second experiment with our capacitive charger. We have our 152 volt traction pack here. It's at about 60% state of charge, and it's currently sitting at around 156, 157 volts. Yeah, that's it. And I just basically very quickly hooked up the same kit here, the capacitive charger, basically set to full power. We're on 240 volts AC, 50 hertz, and we're on a 32 amp supply. Got our full capacitor bank in here, so we're on the total capacitance then is 450 microfarads, and we're just going into our bridge and going straight down to the traction pack. We'll just make a couple of temporary hookups. So our AC input current is just over 19 amps, and if we go inside the car, up we get the BMV to tell us we're at 16.3 amps of DC current, and we're at 160.6 volts, and we're at 57.6%, 57.7. Consumed energy is 27 amp hours. So back to, we're at about 16.3, 16.4 amps, which is considerably down from the 32 amps that I was getting when I was just charging a 12 volt or a 48 volt pack. So obviously the fact that there's a smaller difference in the voltage between the supply and the actual pack is basically doing that for us, and is basically dropping our current. So it does seem as if we certainly can charge a lithium iron phosphate pack with this kind of a charger. Now the difficulty comes when we get to the end of charge, because this is basically a current source. It's not a charger per se, and there'll be a very small change in voltage. The pack's currently at about 160.5. Now fully charged, I nominally charge this pack to 164 volts, which is about 3.425 per cell. We don't have a BMS on here. Funnily, if we did, this would probably function quite good, because I could simply have a signal from the BMS telling me to basically drop out some of my capacitors here when it gets to shunting current, and I could essentially have it set up so that my current at my end of charge is under that of the shunting capacity of the BMS. So that's one option for this particular type of a charger. Now what we've also got here is we do have the capability, we're at 16.5 amps there now, we do have the capability to change that. So we'll keep charging for a bit, see how we fare out. Well, what I was trying to say that time, I got a bit tongue twisted, was that there'd be a very simple procedure if you didn't have a BMS on here, okay? That would be to avail of the state of charge relay in the BMW. Now, you'd have to be very careful. You couldn't go to 100% state of charge, probably couldn't even go past 90%, but it would be an option. Now, I've been on here now for about the last half hour. It's not having any kind of a problem. Still drawing 19 amps from the mains, and I don't know if you can see that too well, but it says 16.4 amps there on the BMW. So all told, and I know about the problems and the power factor and all the other stuff, but from a brutal simplicity point of view, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna finish my chicken sandwich, and I'm just gonna basically charge the car up about perhaps 85% or more with this, and finish it off with the pack charger, and we'll see how it performs. Alrighty, so just about 2 hours total time, just under, I think. Everything's still charging. There's a good bit of heat in that old heat sink there, but it's pretty small for the job, so I'm not concerned about that. Everything else is cool. The caps, this 6 square cable here is ambient temperature. Even this blue stuff here, that's only 2.5. You could barely detect any kind of heat in it. Our battery stats, we get in here, we have a look. A better focus on that. There we go. We still got 16.5 amps, 163.6 volts. We're at 92.5% state of charge. 4.7 amp hours to go. Now, it'd be generally at about 163.5 to 6 that my pack charger would start throttling back a bit as the cells start to come up. So so far, I mean, I've just basically charged the car. Hit this thing, so yeah, I mean, it's just basically charging it. So I've gone from about 28 amp hours down to 4.5. So I'm going to turn off that now, and I'll just finish the charge with the normal pack charger, and we'll call it a day at that.